Congratulations, graduates. You've done it. We applaud you. We are so proud of you for finishing what you started. And we're looking forward to great things for your future. I've got a cheat sheet here with a few tips on navigating this next decade of your life. And I hope you hear it. First of all, identity, who you are, is what you'll bring to every role. So I invite you to discover what God calls you. He has a name for you. And it could be something like beloved. That's the first step. It could be untire of knots, like Jamie Winship shares. And here's the thing. Once you've untied the knot, you're finished. You're done. So pursue God on what He calls you. If you're not at that place yet, ask love. Love, what do you call me? And then write down that first word that comes to you. I want to tell you it's super important. The most important financial decision you'll ever make is who you marry. Before you marry, have all of the discussions about what your goals are, what your vision is, what the finances should look like, and who's responsible for what. And if you're bringing any personal debt into the marriage, that's your responsibility to pay, no one else's. The marital finances are to support and encourage the marriage to success. 9 to 5 is for your now. 5 to 9 is for your future. So what do I mean by that? When you get that job, your 9 to 5, it might be 3 to 11 or whatever that might look like. Those proceeds are for your now. Your 5 to 9 are what you work on from 5 a.m. to 9 a.m. or 5 p.m. to 9 p. are going to be your investment proceeds to invest in your future. Financial freedom is simply making more with passive income than you spend. So let's say your monthly expenses are $6,000 a month. Once you set in place your finances that pay you without having to work, $6,000, you're financially free, and you can do that well before you're 30. I'm going to say two things that sound contradictory, but they're not. Number one, maximize your weakness. In other words, someone's going to say you're too young, you're too inexperienced. I want you to reframe that so someone can see, for example, inexperience. Reframe all of your experiences to date that will show that you do have experience. I remember myself being just, first of all, remove that word from your vocabulary. You're never just anything. That diminishes who God is through you. When I was just a homeschooling mom, I ended up in the nearby community college library during some time when my child was studying. And I pulled out this big 3-ring binder of jobs that were offered by the communities. I'm talking about some C-suite level jobs as well. As I flipped through those pages and looked through the job requirements and the experience requirements, I could see that I could reframe all my experiences as a student, as a mom, as a wife into experience for the role. Your resume, your CV is very important. Utilize ChatGPT to help maximize it. But let's get back to staffing and maximizing your weakness. These seem like contradictory things. But find what your weakness is and use it. I'm young. That means I'm youthful. I have energy. I'm willing to learn. And then on the other side, if you really can't do a spreadsheet, don't kill yourself trying to teach yourself how to do a spreadsheet. Staff your weakness in that sense and find someone who loves doing spreadsheets. And then let it go. Delegate, right? Delegation is the key to success. There should be best practices, and quality control is important, but let it go for that other person to complete it. As long as it meets the goal, let it go. I'm going to say to you, as for myself, an early purchaser, I purchased my first home when I was 21 years old. It was wonderful. get into the real estate market as early as possible. Now, if you were hired in your field that you just spent 2 to 4, 6, 8 years studying, all of that education counts as job experience to lenders. So don't hesitate. Even if you have a student loan, we'll have to look at debt to income ratios with your student loan to make sure that you're making a good move. You'll pay someone's mortgage, pay your own as early as possible. Buy the worst house in a great upcoming neighborhood. What my late husband and I did was every time we needed to move up, we converted our last house to a rental, converted this house to a rental, converted this house to a rental. So I just want to share with you to go ahead and get into the real estate market as early as possible. Also, a reminder, you're never alone. Be careful with overthinking. True success comes from the heart. Not from your experiences, but how your heart, your mind processes your experience into actions. And I want to ask you to change your mind. In 2008, I was in the market as a business owner. I saw things crash and burn. I saw young men and women who had just gotten their MBA become unable to find a job. And yet, I saw the equal number of young men and women who had just gotten their MBA find a job. The difference? They were both in the same time frame. They both had the same level of education. They may or may not have had the same network, but one group had strong confidence in themselves. The other group was looking to external things. They needed external validation. The person who is able to walk with internal validation, feeling good about yourself because of who you are, and not needing someone else to say you're great. But I do want to tell you, you are great. You need a cheerleader on your side. You need a mentor who will remind you who you are. But I want you to remember, confidence will introduce you to the correct network. So there are two. Forgive me if you want to throw baby Jesus out with the bathwater, go ahead, but he is my life. There are two kingdoms at work. Which kingdom will your life express today? And which kingdom will you express through your job? Change your mind to one of confidence and remind yourself you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. So no matter what the market has right now in your job field, don't begrudge or regret if you actually take a job outside of the field in which you just got your diploma. That's okay. One of my tenants became an attorney after she was a chemist, after she was a biologist. So she had quite a track record of education. And she finally found her place in her 40s when she became a litigation attorney for biological and chemical cases. So don't discount all of the different root systems that you're growing right now. So just to recap, you bring your identity to everything. That's who you are. That will make you the most successful. Who you marry is your top financial decision. Your 9 to 5 is for now. Your 5 to 9 is for your future. If you're scrolling or watching TV, that you're not going to have a solid future. Your financial freedom is simply covering all your bills with the income you make, not from work, but from investments. Use your weaknesses as positives and not contradictory. Staff your weakness. Get into the real estate market early. And again, if you graduated in a particular field and get hired in that field, the lender will count your years of education as experience in the job. You are never alone. Success comes from the heart. Build your confidence. Don't let other people tell you who you are. Let your maker tell you who you are. Change your mind to confidence. You can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. And You've got this. Have a great day, guys.